Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And of course, the Brian Craig Show podcast is brought to you by Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting and Roofing. If you're in the state of Florida and you need roof repair or replacement, Tom Laporta is your guy. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. Online at laportaroofing.com. Okay, so lots to cover, a lot of things to talk about. And one of them is today, President Trump for the second time, first time in his second term, was the pace car and the Daytona 500. It was absolutely amazing. I have not watched the Daytona 500 since the last time Trump went there. And that was the first time I ever watched the Daytona 500. This just doesn't interest me. I know it's very popular. A lot of people like it. But it's not for me. Unless Trump is there, then it's for me, and then it's for everyone. And I imagine that the ratings today for the Daytona 500 very well may be the highest ratings that the Daytona 500 has ever gotten. Do you think that's possible? And, here's the thing, with NASCAR, that is an all-American sport. That is, and I know we'll have somebody somewhere who leaves me a comment somewhere that says, well, actually, the racing was started in some other country. Football and NASCAR are American, hardcore. I'm talking about real football, what we do here, not soccer. This is as American as it gets, football and NASCAR. It's a truly American thing. And NASCAR also is very conservative. There's been a couple of instances where the Democrats have tried to make inroads and take over NASCAR. One of them was many, many years ago when Terry McAuliffe was running the DNC. And what the Democrats did then, it was insane. Terry McAuliffe and the DNC took a bunch of volunteers, paid DNC people, and they went to a NASCAR race. And the NASCAR fans ran them off. In fact, I think it was when George W. Bush was president. The NASCAR fans ran them off. And the Terry McAuliffe and the Democrats, they're such liberal, elitist, limousine liberals, and what they figured was, because everything with the left about conservatives is all in the form of a negative stereotype. And they had thought that, well, these guys, they're into race cars. They're poor white trash, they're married to their cousins and all this stuff, and they're very poor. They're very poor, none of course, any of that, none of that's true, but that's how the Democrats viewed NASCAR fans. So they felt, this is perfect. This is perfect for us. And they got ran out there practically with torches. They were run off with people holding torches. It was really brutal. And then a few years back, there was a guy that I saw today before the race. Bubba Wallace tried this BLM infiltration of NASCAR with the fake line story about the noose hanging from the garage, which he knew was BS. I'm surprised he's still around. Have people forgotten about that follow NASCAR? That was really a low-life thing, and I didn't appreciate that. So BLM tried through Bubba Wallace to make their way into NASCAR. That failed. But Trump doesn't have to make his way in because NASCAR's already MAGA, and people are so excited. You see how he went to the Super Bowl, then he went to this, and the thing about the Super Bowl and the Daytona 500, that is as all American as it gets, and it brings people together. And Trump understands that. There was no booing there. And when he was at the Super Bowl, you saw all those celebrities that were there, even that liberal idiot, John Hamm. If this were the first term, those celebrities would have canceled the Super Bowl. They wouldn't have gone with Trump there. And, the pretty much universal love in this country, the never Trumpers, the Trump haters are really a very tiny cult. But I'm sure every newspaper and television headline is going to be what I have in the title of this podcast episode, and that is Victory Lap. And when he did that little ceremonial pace car with the Beast today at Daytona, that was a victory lap for him. It really, truly was a victory lap, and he should enjoy it. And all of us should too. This Trump second term, These 4 years are going to go by fast. We're never going to have a president like this again. We'll have other MAGA presidents, but no one's going to be Trump. So you have to enjoy and savor every second. I got it. You guys know. I don't have to tell you that. You know that. But it was really exciting to see him there back. Isn't it so much better having the split between the two terms? It makes it a lot more enjoyable, doesn't it? And a lot more effective, too. All right, well, there's a lot of things that I do want to cover. I do want to play this one soundbite, then I want to get to some stories. Hakeem Jeffries, he was on ABC This Week with Jonathan Karl today, and Jonathan Karl went over the polls, Trump's polling numbers with Hakeem Jeffries. Listen.
Donald Trump's favorability rating is actually higher than it ever was the first time around. Let me ask you, a recent poll by Marquette looked at several of the things that he has done or says that he is going to do, and 63% favor federal government's recognition of only two sexes. 60% favor deporting immigrants who entered the United States illegally. 60% favor expanding oil and gas production. 59% favor declaring an emergency at the southern border. Is there anything you are seeing that Trump is doing that you are in favor of, that you think is the right thing?
Let me say, as it relates to all of those issues, we're just at the beginning.
Oh, my goodness. He can't think of anything. And there was really an audible gasp there with Hakeem Jeffries with all of those poll numbers. And, the Democrats, they're stupid. The Democrats are just stupid. And who's in favor of stealing money, which is what's been going on from the federal government to all these people and agencies? Well, the Democrats are, and they're openly in favor of stealing. In 1994, Newt Gingrich led a huge Republican victory. And when Newt Gingrich became Speaker, when the Republicans won the House, they also won the Senate. And, Bob Dole was the Republican Senate Majority Leader when that happened. That was the first time that the Republicans controlled the House and Senate, like in 30 years, or was it 40 years? I can't remember. It was a long time. And that was amazing. We're very popular. And then in 96, when Bill Clinton ran for re-election, Newt Gingrich and the conservative Republican policies of the day, welfare to work was a big one, were popular. I mean, really popular. So what Bill Clinton did was start agreeing with the Republican conservative policies, because they were very popular with the American people across party lines even. And Dick Morris was his campaign manager for his reelection. And this was Dick Morris's idea. And they called it triangulation. And what it was Bill Clinton took all these Republican Newt Gingrich ideas, made them his own, and boom, and he got reelected. The Democrats don't have it in them to admit that they've done anything wrong. They don't have it in them to admit that the American people who don't agree with anything they're doing are anything other than wrong. There's no self-reflection. There's no changing. They're continuing to promote stealing and all these other things that the American people have rejected. And that's just what we want them to do, because if they got smart like Bill Clinton did in 1996, they might have a chance here and there. But they're so arrogant and stupid that they're not making any course corrections. We don't want them to make course corrections. The longer it takes them to make changes into to making sense to the Democrats, it's easier for us when they're like this. This is beautiful. They're helping Trump almost as much as Elon Musk. And that's just what they're doing, exactly what Trump wants them to do. They're doing these stupid things, the Democrats. Now, there's been a story that's been developing over the last few days, and when this story first dropped over the weekend, I was immediately suspect of it. And the longer it goes on, the more suspect of it I am. And this is about the woman that says that she had Elon Musk's baby 5 months ago. And this story is taking all kinds of bizarre changes as it's going on and as it evolves. And this is what I know. The Democrats and the establishment and the media are in a panic to discredit Elon Musk. And they've been trying to do all kinds of things, right? Separate him from Trump, this President Musk and Vice President Trump thing they were trying. They had this fake news story that even Rachel Maddow stupidly went on the air with, even though it was totally fake, that Elon had made a deal with the Trump administration on a purchase of $400 million worth of armored cyber trucks, just all this craziness. And when this new baby mama story came out of Elon Musk, I was immediately suspect of it because I know what they're doing. And the way that the girl has reacted and everything is very strange. And there's been some big updates on it. And I'll tell you, Mark Dice did a video that he dropped on YouTube today talking about this. And it was, I like Mark Dice and I do follow him. I don't watch all of his videos, but I do watch him from time to time. This one almost seemed personal to him. He seemed angry. He was attacking all kinds of people over this Elon Musk thing. He was attacking the woman. He brought up Mike Cernovich. I didn't quite understand that. He seemed to really have Mark Dice seemed to have a real thing for Mark Cernovich. It was very bizarre what Mark Dice, his emotional, it wasn't what he was saying. He just seemed, for the first time ever hearing Mark Dice talk about something, it seemed personal. He seemed very emotional about it. But what had happened over the weekend, it broke on Saturday that this conservative influencer that I've never heard of, Ashley St. Clair, she posted on X, Elon's own platform, that she had Elon's baby 5 months ago. It seemed a little strange to me. The baby has a different last name. Elon didn't acknowledge it. It's very strange. And then there were a lot of developments. And let me read through this because this gives some details. And then whatever they leave out, I'll add into it. And this is in the Daily Mail. The woman claiming to be Elon Musk's baby mama, because we don't know because Elon hasn't confirmed nor denied, launched a blistering tirade at the tech billionaire after he responded to a post made by Milo Yiannopoulos. Conservative influencer Ashley St. Clair, age 26, this is the alleged baby mama, took to X on Friday, sharing that Musk, age 53, is the father of the child she gave birth to 5 months ago. And this is what she posted on X. 5 months ago, I welcomed a baby into the world. Elon Musk is the father. I have not previously disclosed this to protect our child's privacy and safety, but in recent days, it has become clear that tabloid media intends to do so, regardless of the harm it will cause, she wrote. So I saw that Saturday morning. I'm like, okay, I'm not sure. Something's odd about this all of a sudden. Why is she doing this now? But it seemed okay. But then there were some developments. On Saturday evening, Elon Musk, who has so far not acknowledged her announcement, issued a one-word response under Milo Yiannopoulos' post, simply writing, whoa, WHOA. In his post, Milo claimed that St. Clair plotted for half a decade to ensnare Musk. And Mark Dice was talking about that she spent 5 years on the mission of wanting to get pregnant by Elon Musk. And if you have Elon Musk's baby, he's the richest man in the world. You're probably set, as is the child, for the rest of their life. But I found it odd that she didn't give the child Elon's last name, Musk. Now, she said that was at his request. After seeing his response, St. Clair, the baby mama, wasted no time firing back at Elon, stating that she has not heard from him since the news broke. And she then again posted on X, and then she deleted this post. Elon, we have been trying to communicate for the past several days, and you have not responded, St. Clair wrote, taking aim at Elon Musk's alleged lack of engagement on the matter. Then she went on. This was all on X. When are you going to reply to us? And us, does that mean her and the baby? Or does that mean her and her lawyers? She says, when are you going to reply to us instead of publicly responding to smears from an individual who just posted photos of me in underwear at 15 years old? Oh, my goodness. Milo did that. Now, when I first saw the story Saturday morning, I did what probably most people did. I looked her up on X because I saw this story. So I clicked on her profile because I never heard of her before. And in her little bio at the top of her X, well, we all have bios, she had a little information. And then she said, for media inquiries, and then it said, don't bother. So when she said, don't bother for media inquiries, when I saw that yesterday morning, I was like, well, maybe this is legit because she doesn't want to talk to the media. And then she puts this weird, strange, bitter woman almost stalkerish like post on X. We've been trying to reach you for days. Her reply was then wiped from X within the hour, and she has remained silent ever since. We don't know why. Late Saturday night, Elon responded with a blushing heart face and emoji after Siobhan, the mother of 3 of his children, shared an image of her and their twins smiling. St. Clair also tweeted Saturday this: "It's interesting that Elon is responding to this clearly in jest screenshot that was discussed with his team months ago in a documented call. Now he decides to respond to it publicly from an account that has posted underage photos of me. And if he wasn't asking me to have more children last week, I would like to take this offline for our child's sake and have been attempting to do so for weeks," she wrote. The post has since been deleted. So she can't get Elon on the phone. He's not responding to her. So she's putting these things out on X. In an earlier statement, St. Clair acknowledged the overwhelming response, thanking those who expressed kindness after her announcement. Her representative, whose name is Brian, not me though, is Brian Glitlish, emphasized that Elon and St. Clair have been privately working towards the creation of agreement about raising their child for some time. St. Clair previously told the New York Post that her romance with Elon began with a simple direct message on X. Musk was very funny. He was smart. He was very down to earth. It started with interactions and he slid into my DMs. I think it was a meme, St. Clair said, as she detailed how the back and forth soon blossomed into a clandestine romance. As she knows exactly how it started. Come on. In St. Clair's stunning announcement, she revealed that she was forced to go public after allegedly being instructed to keep the pregnancy under wraps. "I was told to keep it secret. I was being asked to keep it a secret forever," she admitted to the New York Post, while declining to provide material proof of Elon's paternity. St. Clair alleges that Elon provided her with a lavish apartment in New York's financial district where a 2-bedroom can rent for $40,000 a month. Along with the residence came a security detail, but no public acknowledgement. She said, "I was completely isolated during my pregnancy," is what she told the Post. "Every part of my career and everything I used to do, I couldn't do anymore. I was told not to tell anybody," she claimed. "I am a good mom, and that's what drives most of my decisions. And my kids are my whole world," she told the New York Post. She had worked for the Babylon Bee in the past. Okay, it goes on. Okay, I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know. If it's true, Elon has 5 kids. If not, he has 12. What I find suspicious about it is the timing, right? The timing is insane. Right after the fake $400 million armored Tesla deal, they're working so hard to get Elon and this Doge shut down. The timing of it just seems very suspicious. If it weren't for all of that, I wouldn't even pay attention. I'm not into celebrity gossip, but there's a bigger picture. Why would she come out now? Why would she rock the boat when she's set up for the rest of her life? Why did she not name her child Musk instead of a different last name? I mean, a lot of these things don't make sense. Okay. And the left, like I was talking about at the beginning of the segment with how they stereotype NASCAR people, the DNC all those years ago, everything they do in the Democrats and the liberal media and all of that against Trump and MAGA is based on stereotypes, right? As an example, they thought that if Trump got arrested, since MAGA people support law and order, we would drop Trump if he got arrested, even though we know it was fake and lawfare and he was, it was all trumped up charges. Then when we circled the wagons around Trump after these multiple indictments and arrests, they said, well, it's not real enough to them yet. We got to get a mugshot. So then they got the Fannie Willis mugshot in Fulton County, and they thought that would do it. And of course, that just made us circle the wagons more. Trump has that mugshot on the Oval Office wall right now, right? It's been in the news. You've seen it on television. So everything they do and how they plot against him is all based on stereotypes. So this one could be that these MAGA people, they're very pro-family, and him having a child out of wedlock, that'll tick them off, and they'll try. No, we don't care. We just don't care. There are some things that maybe conservatives would care about in the past, but the stakes are too high right now. And what Elon Musk is doing is too important to worry about some girl baby mama. He's the richest man in the world. The child will never want. Even if Elon didn't support her and the child, which he will, but even if he didn't, the fact that the child is Elon Musk's son is enough for him to make a very good living with, just having that proof for the rest of his life. So no, there's just something that stinks about this. There is nothing they can bring up about Elon Musk that is going to get any of us to drop him. Everything he is doing is too important. Now, I want to tell you guys, the free shipping is still in effect at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout. And remember, every time you buy something at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, you are supporting this program, my podcast, my YouTube channel, and of course the radio show. And it is greatly appreciated. All these products I talk about, I have them, and I have bought all of them. And the only one I didn't use the promo code on was the first pillow I bought, because we didn't have the promo code yet, and we did later. And I have bought everything. Sometimes they'll call and ask me if I want a particular product, like the towel set or something. I go, I already have it. And they're like, really? Yeah, I have everything. I live in a MyPillow household, and the specials that are going on right now are huge. The MyPillows, all of them are on special. The MyPillow towels, the mattress. Kathy and I a few months ago got a new MyPillow mattress. There's a discount on that. The slippers, the bathrobe, the mattress toppers, everything. And there's just incredible deals on the most popular products with our promo code Kane at checkout. Plus the savings, you get the free shipping on top of that huge savings. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and load up and save big money on what you purchase, plus free shipping. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. We'll take our first break and be right back. Don't go anywhere. Experience the mystery, elegance, and soothing power of Dark Night Candles. Only at candlesbyross.com. Handcrafted with care by Ross, the creator of the Dark Night Candle line. These luxurious candles are designed to ease anxiety, relieve stress, and bring a serene glow to your home. Each flame represents resilience, strength, and quiet sophistication. Infused with deep, evocative fragrances, Dark Night Candles are eco-friendly and handmade with care in the charming village of Grays Lake, Illinois. They're perfect for those who love modern luxury with a touch of mystique. Right now, enjoy free shipping and an exclusive buy two, get one free offer. No code needed. Shop the entire Dark Night Candle collection today at candlesbyross.com. Let their glow bring warmth and serenity to your space. The Dark Night Candle collection, where modern craftsmanship meets legendary spirit. Order now at candlesbyross.com. How would you like to feel young again, no matter your age? You can learn how to do just that with the new book from Bob and Fran German, 101 Ways to Be Young at Any Age. Available on Amazon. This life-changing book is your guide to reverse aging, boosting your energy, and living your life to the fullest. You'll learn how to minimize stress, prevent disease, and stay young with 101 nuggets of wisdom gathered from around the world. Are you ready to feel good, look good, and do good? 100% of proceeds from the sales of the book are donated to help abolish the illegal trafficking of children worldwide. The funds are used for education, health services, and community empowerment. Order your copy right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and Kindle Unlimited. 101 Ways to Be Young at Any Age. From authors Bob and Fran German. Feel good, look good, do good. Your karma will skyrocket. Ready for an unforgettable adventure that you will remember for the rest of your life? Discover Spain and Portugal like never before with Cycling Rentals. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast, an independent traveler, or just dreaming of Camino de Santiago, Cycling Rentals has you covered. Choose from their self-guided bike tours on their famous bike, bed, and breakfast cycling holidays. Or customize your own adventure. From rugged mountain trails to scenic coastal roads, the choice is yours. Cycling Rentals deliver top quality tour, road, or mountain bikes. All the bikes are fully equipped with all the accessories you need, and the bikes are delivered right to your accommodations anywhere in continental Spain or Portugal. And if you've dreamed of conquering Camino, Cycling Rentals are specialists in Camino de Santiago bike rentals, offering tour packs and services to guide you on your spiritual journey. Ready to ride? Visit cycling-rentals.com. Use the promo code iHeartRadio at checkout and receive 10% off your rental and self-guided bike tours. That's cycling-rentals.com. Cycling Rentals. Your adventure, your way.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. Thanks for tuning in. The Sunday show, I mean, they're out of their freaking minds on the Sunday shows. Now, on the last podcast episode, I was talking about that great Munich speech that J.D. Vance gave. The first vice presidential speech I think I've ever seen. The only other vice presidential speech I've seen that I can remember is the Nixon checker speech, because they used to show us that in school. And that speech, if you don't know what it is, a lot of you I'm sure do, but the checker speech, Nixon was Eisenhower's vice president. He was accused of taking, was it bribes or doing something for donors, something like this. And he gave this speech that he's not on the take. And the only gift he ever received was the family dog Checkers. And he says, we're keeping him. And that's why they call it the checker speech. And they've always made a big deal about that because the left hate Nixon. They always did. So they run that all the time. But other than that, I don't know of another vice presidential speech that I've paid any attention to other than JD's in Munich yesterday. And I think that's true for most people. And they're having meltdowns. Yesterday, I was talking about the meltdown in Europe over it quite a bit. Margaret Brennan had Marco Rubio on CBS's Face the Nation today. I want to play some of this and we'll talk about it as we go. But, you know, Margaret Brennan, she is one of these poison, totally fake news people. She is married to a Syrian American, okay? And that's important because I know a lot of people say, well, who cares about that? The fact that she's married to a Syrian American man.
I want to ask you about what happened in.
No one asked you to speak yet, Margaret, like Trump with Caitlin Collins, right? Who she's married to has a lot to do with her worldview and her political opinions. Okay, that's just the way it is. And anybody who doesn't accept that, well, you're just lying to yourself or lying to whoever you're talking to. So she had Marco Rubio on. She said a lot of stupid things. And she started right off here. She's talking about, and Marco Rubio is in Israel. I'm not sure if he was in Germany and this was recorded or if he was in Israel yet. He may have still been in Germany. But anyway, Margaret Brennan is asking Marco Rubio about JD's speech at the Munich conference.
I want to ask you about what happened in Munich, Germany at the security conference. Vice President Vance gave a speech and he told U.S. allies that the threat he worries about the most is not Russia. It is not China. He called it the threat from within, and he lectured about what he described as censorship, mainly focusing, though, on including more views from the right. He also met with the leader of a far-right party known as the AfD, which...
Okay, now I don't know anything about the AfD. I don't need to know. JD says they're okay. I don't know. But you notice anything that's bad, the media label far-right. Anything that's bad, it's, far-right extremist. I never hear them talk about the far left.
Views from the right. He also met with the leader of a...
And when they say far right for these evil groups all the time, the media, like Margaret Brennan here, it's also implying that the right is bad. The right is evil. The right is hate. But then there's some people on the right, they're even further gone than that. It's really... It ticks me off. It's one of the reasons that they don't have the trust of the American people. But... they're deep state and getting all that the government money through these different things, so the media don't care about turning off their viewers.
A far-right party known as the AfD, which, as you know, is under investigation and monitoring by German intelligence because of extremism. What did all of this accomplish other than irritating our allies?
Well, why would our allies or anybody be irritated by free speech and by someone giving their opinion? We are, after all, democracies. The Munich Security Conference is largely a conference of democracies in which one of the things that we cherish and value is the ability to speak freely and provide your opinions. And so I think if anyone's angry about his word, they don't have to agree with him, but to be angry about it, I think actually makes his point. I thought it was actually a pretty historic speech, whether you agree with him or not. I think the valid points he's making to Europe is we are concerned that the true values that we share, The values that bind us together with Europe are things like free speech and democracy and our shared history in winning 2 world wars and defeating Soviet communism and the like. These are the values that we shared in common. And in that Cold War, we fought against things like censorship and oppression and so forth. And when you see backsliding, and you raise that, that's a very valid concern. We can't tell them how to run their countries. He simply expressed in a speech his view of it, which a lot of people frankly share. And I thought he said a lot of things in that speech that needed to be said. And honestly, I don't know why anybody would be upset about it. People are allowed, you don't have to agree with someone's speech. I happen to agree with a lot of what he said, but you don't have to agree with someone's speech to at least appreciate the fact they have a right to say it, and that you should listen to it and see whether those criticisms are valid. I assure you, the United States has come under withering criticism on many occasions from many leaders in Europe, and we don't go around throwing temper tantrums about it.
Yeah, now, little Marco's grown up. Isn't he good? He's very good. The thing about what he's saying is he's backing up what J.D. Vance was saying in Munich yesterday. He said with NATO, with Europe, the United States, we joined them in 2 world wars and then the Cold War. And we had common enemies, Germany, Nazis, communist aggression, right? And the question is now, all these wars are over. What do we have in common? Why are we allies? Are we fighting together for anything? Because we seem to be opposed on everything. We can't be allied with these people fighting for freedom when they're suppressing free speech. And these are very important questions. So let's get back to this. Again, this is Margaret Brennan today on Face the Nation with Marco Rubio. Well,
he was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide.
Okay, now this is the amazing thing that she just said, Margaret Brennan. Is this what she learned from her husband? What she's talking about here is Nazi Germany. She said free speech allowed the Nazis to rise up. Now this is nuts, okay? So first off, where does somebody get something so idiotic? That's insane. There was no free speech in Germany. In fact, they even suppressed the Nazis. Remember, Hitler and leading Nazis went to prison after the beer hall push. They went to prison. So there was not free speech or free expression in pre-war Germany. Okay, the Weimar Republic period. But this is the kind of thing that a girl like Margaret Brennan, who's in the fake news media now at the top of it, she was the White House correspondent for CBS when Obama was president. This is the kind of thing they learn in all of these fancy schools that these liberal elitists go to, and in these liberal circles, that free speech has to be, curtailed. We can't have free speech. Free speech gave us Hitler. She believes that. That's what they learn. But Marco comes back with her pretty good on that.
Many leaders in Europe, and we don't go around throwing temper tantrums about it.
Well, he was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide. And he met with the head of a political party that has far-right views and some historic ties to extreme groups. The context of that was changing the tone of it.
Insane.
And you know that the censorship was specifically about the right.
No, I have to disagree with you. Free speech was not used to conduct a genocide. The genocide was conducted by an authoritarian Nazi regime that happened to also be genocidal because they hated Jews and they hated minorities and they hated those that they had a list of people they hated, but primarily the Jews.
That's right.
There was no free speech in Nazi Germany. There was none. There was also no opposition in Nazi Germany. They were a sole and only party that governed that country. So that's not an accurate reflection of history. I also think it's wrong. Again, I go back to the point of his speech. Okay, the point of his speech was basically that there is an erosion in free speech and intolerance for opposing points of view within Europe.
Okay, so it goes on. I mean, what she says is no less than insane. It is one of the most idiotic stories or comments I've ever heard someone from the media make, the fake news media, that is. I've never heard it shows their complete justification in what we've seen them do in the past so far as shutting down the laptop story. Because you hear what Margaret Brennan said, well, they allowed free speech in Germany, which is nonsense, and that's why the Nazis rose up. So when we suppress true stories like this laptop, whether it's true or not, it's not important. We're trying to stop Nazis. See, what she did was talk about MAGA, talk about President Trump, okay, in the way that they talk about President Trump and MAGA people at their cocktail parties in Washington. This is not the way they would normally speak on television. I don't know if she slipped up or if she's just so deep into this sick world that they're in that she, said what she was. I don't know how she said this, but this is how they talk about us in private. It's very, very revealing. And she really outed herself. She's not the only person in the media, the left-wing media, to out themselves. Somebody else did, which I'll get to in a moment. But first, I want to thank our Patreon supporters for their support of the program. And if you would like to support all of the content I bring you, all of it, and I believe me, I think I bring you guys lots of content, and I want to thank you all for watching it and listening to it. And if you would like to support all of the content I bring to you, become a Patreon supporter. When you're a Patreon supporter, you have access to commercial-free editions of all of the podcast episodes, plus you're supporting all the content and work that I bring to you, and it's greatly appreciated. Our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on each and every podcast episode. So the names you'll hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Rick, Nick, Wesley, Macho, Mike P, Carlos, Paulette, John, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Richard, Alice, K-Mac, LeeZep, Shawna, Constance, George, Brandon, Rob and Trish Wilkerson, Christy R, John S, Frank, and Dale. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you all. And again, if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of the episode. Okay, so she outed herself there, Margaret Brennan, but then Caitlin Collins also did, and she's trying to backpedal. Now, Caitlin Collins, all kinds of trouble, and she's about to be banned from the Oval Office because she's been disrespectful to President Trump. That came up last week, and now she did something that's insane. Okay. Caitlin Collins, who is not just this primetime host on CNN, she's also CNN's White House correspondent. And on Friday, she posted a tweet with a link to the pharmaceutical rep's assassin. She put a link to his legal defense team's website where they're raising money for his defense, Luigi. So why did she do that? Collins didn't directly call on people to donate, but the link suggested she wanted people to visit the website. And it was right there. Now, she has said, no. I just posted that because it's news. And I wanted people to have the news. Well, has she ever posted the link to any other legal defense funds for people? New York Post has a story about it. It's all over the place. CNN chief White House correspondent, this is New York Post. CNN chief White House correspondent Caitlin Collins apparently deleted a social media post after receiving backlash for appearing to promote a defense fund for Luigi, the United Healthcare CEO killer. On her post, Caitlin Collins showed a link to a new website launched by defense lawyers for Maggioni, who faces charges of first-degree murder in furtherance of an act of terrorism. So that's wow. Stalking and other state and federal charges in New York, Pennsylvania as well. And she posted the link up there. And I don't think that was an accident. I got to tell you, I really don't think that was an accident. I think she did it on purpose. I think she, like Margaret Brennan in that exchange with Marco Rubio, I think she showed a little moment of honesty. Maybe when she did it, she was at home and sipping some wine. I don't know. But we got a little bit of honesty from her because if you remember, the liberals were out there hardcore defending that killer. They were after that murder, it was bizarre how sick and twisted their support was of him, but they were doing it. So it would make sense that she feels that way and tweeted it out there too. Now, she seems to have some kind of special protections over at CNN. In fact, when she did that town hall with President Trump and he cleaned her clock, they gave her the primetime show promotion after that. And I mean, he filleted her. She looked really stupid in that interview. She really did. And, I don't think she's altogether with it. If you watch her, she has no filter. And it's not like, oh, I'm a tough woman, hear me roar. She is, to me, when I see her on television in these interviews that she does or in the White House briefings, Caitlin Collins looks psychotic to me. She really truly does. Now, if you are in the state of Florida and you need roof repair or replacement, you know who to call. Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting and Roofing. He's a good MAGA guy. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. And Tom Laporta can handle the job of any size, whether it's a single structure or a community that has over 300 buildings in it. He can handle the job of any size. He works on residential, commercial, municipal buildings as well. He works with every type of roofing material, and he gives you his cell phone number, which I'm going to give you now, which you can call or text him at. You can also go to his website, LaportaRoofing.com. The number at LaportaRoofing.com is the main office number. It's not Tom Laporta's cell phone. You want to get the boss and you want to get him on his cell phone. You want to talk to him. He'll give you a quote. He'll come out and look. Do you need a repair? Do you need a new roof? And he'll give you a quote. Give him a call. Here's his number. This is his cell phone. You can call or text. In fact, I was right before the podcast, Tom and I were texting about something. He and I are friends, so we just, we text about things sometimes. And when I tell you about Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting and Roofing, when I give you his cell phone number, I open up the most recent text between the two of us, and I open it up and read his number right there off my text. It's 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602 for Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting and Roofing. Give him a call and make sure you tell him that I sent you. All right, we're going to take our last break. When we get back, there's much more to talk about. I know there's a lot of stuff happening, but there's even more to talk about on the program. We'll be back right after this. Are you tired of boring, bland meals? It's time to level up your flavor game, and you can do just that with Keto Smoke Seasoning. Keto Smoke Seasoning is bold, all-purpose, diet-friendly, and it's packed with flavor. Whether you're grilling, roasting, or meal prepping, Keto Smoke Seasoning brings the heat without the guilt. There's no sugar, it's non-GMO, gluten-free, and low sodium too. Just clean, bold flavors designed for healthy eating and big taste. Choose from Keto Smoke Seasoning's 4 incredible blends. The original blend is smoky, savory, and perfectly balanced for everything. Sweet Heat is a bold kick of spice with a touch of sweetness. Mexican Fiesta is authentic, zesty, and full of south of the border flavor. Mediterranean Magic. It's herbaceous, aromatic, and perfect for fresh, clean meals. Keto Smoke Seasoning goes great with keto, low carb, grilling, and everyday cooking. Say goodbye to boring food and hello to bold, guilt-free flavor. Shop right now. You can find Keto Smoke Seasoning on Amazon or visit KetoSmokeSeasoning.com. That's KetoSmokeSeasoning.com. Start spicing up your meals today. Order now and taste the difference, because health should never mean flavorless. KetoSmokeSeasoning.com. Imagine bringing the beauty of the outdoors inside. Lush botanical prints, nature-inspired decor, and cozy touches that transform your home into a peaceful retreat. That's exactly what you will find at Golden Greenhouse LLC on Etsy.com, where nature meets design. The founder of Golden Greenhouse LLC is Jen. She's a former designer for QVC and HSN. Golden Greenhouse LLC is her dream turned reality, combining her years of expertise with a deep love for gardening as well as home decor. At Golden Greenhouse LLC, you'll find designer wallpaper, plush throw pillows, blankets, and that's just the beginning of the exciting inventory at Golden Greenhouse LLC. Everything is crafted to bring warmth, style, and nature's magic to your space. Whether you're refreshing a room or finding that perfect gift, every piece is crafted with love and inspired by the beauty of the natural world. Use the promo code IHEART25 and save 25% on all orders over $75. Go right now to goldengreenhousellc.etsy.com. Explore the collection. You will be impressed. Decor and gifts inspired by nature that bring the outdoors inside. goldengreenhousellc.etsy.com. Great leaders aren't born, they're made. From business strategist and leadership expert Jim Carlo comes a powerful new book that's a roadmap to success in today's fast-paced world. The 6 Pillars of Effective Leadership, available on Amazon. With over 3 decades of experience leading multi-million-dollar companies, the author reveals the 6 essential attributes that define true leadership: integrity, credibility, stability, focus, growth, and impact. Whether you're a seasoned executive or an aspiring leader. The 6 Pillars of Effective Leadership gives you the tools you need to inspire your team, overcome challenges, and drive real success. Leadership isn't about titles. It's about action. Are you ready to level up? Then order your copy of The 6 Pillars of Effective Leadership from author Jim Carlo on Amazon. This book also makes a great gift to your management team. Lead with purpose. Succeed with confidence.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast. Make sure you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you are listening to us on. Okay, so just another thought or two on this Elon baby mama story. Not only did she do an interview with the New York Post, this is just coming out now, she also did an entire photo spread in her apartment in New York. I'm sorry, guys, there's just something that's not right about this. We'll find out more as time goes on, but you know, when you talk about draining the swamp, no one's drained the swamp like Elon's doing with Trump right now. This is an area where they never even thought it was possible to drain the swamp in. A couple other things that we have to get into. Something very weird happened over the weekend with Peter Strzok. Did you remember this? You remember Peter Strzok? Peter Strzok remember he had his girlfriend, Lisa Page, and he was the FBI agent that was in charge of the Hillary case that let her get away with wiping all the servers and everything. And he was also the guy that got the fake fraudulent warrant to wiretap Trump's campaign quarters and home at Trump Tower. And, you know, he's been running around like he's the king of the world for years now. And then over the weekend, Peter Strzok wiped his entire X account. All of his posts on X, formerly Twitter, he deleted all of them. Now, you know, the way the internet works, you know, I'm sure they have everything archived at X, but why did he do that all of a sudden? You think it has anything to do with Kash Patel about to be confirmed? We'll find out, won't we? I mean, this is got to be scary to him because, you know, they've had this club at the FBI, and this is the first time it's been broken, bringing in Kash Patel. It really has. And, you know, Kash Patel's still not confirmed officially as we speak. But after that first hearing, I told you guys, he's confirmed. Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, and they've had how long now? How long ago did Trump announce that Kash Patel was going to be the FBI director? It's had to be a couple of months by now, close to it. And they haven't come out with anything on him. Nothing, no dirt, nothing. If they had something on him, believe me, it would be out there, and they would have had it already because he'd been so public against them for so long, and they had nothing to drop about Kash Patel. And, you know, after the Pete Hegseth thing, you would have thought something. So he's confirmed. It's just a matter of time. You know, the Democrats and the Republicans should have already, you know, the Republicans should have already confirmed him in the Senate. I mean, this is ridiculous. But they're trying to let the Democrats save face with their people. Okay, we're opposing one of them. They're going to have to live with Matt Gaetz. In fact, when you think about it, maybe Trump always knew Matt Gaetz didn't have a chance to go through that process and put him up so that they could have one thing they could point to, the Never Trumpers and the Democrats, that they had a victory on, and that's that Matt Gaetz didn't get in. When really he wanted Pam Bondi. And like I say, you read The Art of the Deal, which I just did recently, and you'll see Trump always asks for a lot more than he really wants so that he has places to concede. And then whoever he's up against thinks he's conceded, but he hasn't conceded. He put a lot more out there than he wanted. So maybe he never really wanted Matt Gaetz and always knew Matt Gaetz wasn't going to make it, but he went on and did what it is he did. I want to tell you guys about, of course, the great Dr. Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. You know, sometimes I wonder what I would be like today if I had never met Dr. Appleton. You know, he's rid me of pain 7 times, and the pains were pretty bad. My knee pain, my arthritis he rid me of. I had 3 shoulder injuries. He treated me for all three and relieved my pain for all three of my shoulder injuries. It goes on and on. It's amazing what he does. It's absolutely amazing. 7 times he's rid me of pain. And I know a lot of you in this audience, he's rid you of pain too. He is a miracle worker. His laser wave pain treatment repairs the damage that's causing you the pain. It works. It's 100% painless. There's no drugs. There's no downtime. There's no injections. And of course, the best part is it works. Appointments are never necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. Okay. Give Dr. Appleton a call. His number is 954-973-0710. Now, just because appointments are not necessary doesn't mean you can't make them. Okay. So if you want to make an appointment, please do, especially if you're coming from out of town or out of state, make an appointment. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. Okay, Jamie Raskin, who seems to have given up the shower cap, he was also on Face the Nation this week. Listen.
Attorney General Bondi says there's nothing wrong here, saying it was President Biden's weaponized DOJ that went after Adams for political reasons, and only after he criticized President Biden's immigration policies. This is a fellow Democrat. Do you think he should be prosecuted? And how do you respond to that allegation?
Well, first of all, the Attorney General did not cite any changes in the facts of the case. She did not cite any changes in the law because neither occurred, nor did she cite any irregularities in the investigation or the prosecution.
It's all made up.
Well, then she's mimicking her boss then, who just lies as a matter of course. One would expect more from the Attorney General of the United States. And, this whole corruption attack, that is an attack on the Department of Justice for engaging in corruption prosecutions, could be impeachable in a different political environment. But the fact that Mayor Adams is a Democrat is neither here nor there for me. I'm against corruption across the board. It seems like Donald Trump wants to attract all of the corrupt politicians in America to his side.
Attorney General.
So now this is an interesting that's going on. Okay, this law, everyone knows that Adams only had these charges up against him. It's not about whether he did it or not. They only brought charges against him because he was against the illegals being housed in the city of New York. Okay, we know that. As soon as he stood up to Biden on that, boom, all of a sudden he's got federal charges on him. But the reason I share this is not so much I care about Adams, although I want all the lawfare to be stopped. Republicans in the House are talking about impeaching these federal judges that think that they're the presidents of the United States. They keep making these rulings, ordering President Trump and Doge to stop their actions. Like in the first term, one of the Obama judges ordered Trump to stop the Muslim ban, right? This is what they do. They are not within the scope of their power. They're trying to run the country. You've heard of activist judges. I mean, this is activist judges to to infinity and beyond. I mean, it's insane what they're doing. And I hope that is not just talk by these Republicans in the House. A lot of times they talk a lot and do very little, Republicans. I know I've been disappointed by them many, many times. But impeaching some of these judges is a good idea. A message needs to be sent. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to necessarily be able to remove them in a Senate trial. You know what? Federal judges have been impeached and removed from the bench. It's happened. I knew a guy who was a Democrat federal judge who was impeached and removed from the bench under suspicion of taking bribes. And if anything that's come out about these judges that have been making rulings against Trump and stopping Doge is true, they've been taking bribes, whether it's USAID or something else, right? So, yeah, just because the bribe comes from USAID doesn't mean it's not a bribe. And there's a problem with one of the other judges, too. So impeaching these judges is very important, even if they're not removed from the bench, because it puts a spotlight on what they've done. That the majority of the people of the country don't realize how corrupt these judges are. They say, liberal activist judges. This is more than just liberal activism from judges. These are judges that obviously they've got something on or they've taken something, like Judge Merchan in New York. There's a lot of corrupt judges out there at very high levels, and they're using them. and it's wrong, and it's got to stop. And you impeach a federal judge, and they're talking about impeaching multiple federal judges over the way they're ruling and behaving right now. Most people don't read the Gateway Pundit or listen to me or people like me who are exposing this stuff. Most people in the country that don't follow politics or are Democrats don't know about these things. And an impeachment, whether or not they get removed or not, would bring to light the corrupt connections that these judges have and show people what it is that they're really doing. They're just not hardcore liberals who think they're doing the right thing. These are corrupt judges who oftentimes are very rich and living in expensive homes somehow on a government salary. So these impeachments of the federal judges, don't let people blow them off and say, nothing's going to happen to these people. Nothing's going to happen to these people. Putting a spotlight on their corruption is a lot. And believe me, they don't like it. Well, listen, we're out of time for today. I'm Brian Craig. Thanks for tuning in. This is where MAGA comes to talk.